Drivers, start your engines!
This is MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. One full hour of news, interviews, and opinion about the past weekend's racing action. Brought to you by Hercules Tires.
Pace car is up.
Now here are your hosts, Woody Kane and Joey Meyer.
Green flag, green flag.
Welcome to another edition of Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. You'll want to head on over there now and get one of their lunch specials. They start at $6.99. They've got the brand new center cut sirloin, and because Kevin Harvick had a top 10 finish, don't forget to race into Outback Steakhouse today for a free Bloomin' Onion, because Kevin Harvick, as we said, did finish in the top 10. Outback Steakhouse, done right. You'll want to check it out. It was a huge weekend at Michigan International Raceway, Speedway, and at Road America. We saw a lot of action at both places over the weekend. We saw a little weather at both places over the weekend, and a whole lot more. What jumped out at you?
24 races into the Sprint Cup Series, 23 races into the XFINITY Series, 25 races coming up on the Truck Series. The one thing you've come to know is we don't call ourselves professionals, but all of our fans think we are know-it-all. And one of the things we've definitely learned is that the only way to win in this series is to have previous wins. It's obvious. You have to be a previous winner and gather all that experience and knowledge to keep winning in any of the three series.
What?
Yeah. Not so much, is it?
Yeah, well, it didn't turn out that way because
first time
ever that this happened. 3 different winners in 3 different races. All 3 of NASCAR's national touring divisions had brand new winners, and we will have at least one representative from all of them here on the program today. Brett Moffitt will be here after winning the truck race at Michigan International Speedway. First time for him to do that. We'll also have Chad Johnston, the crew chief for Kyle Larson, after he got his first win ever in the Sprint Cup Series at Michigan on Sunday. Yeah. And then Michael McDowell will be here as well, McDriver, after he got his first ever win in the NASCAR XFINITY Series at Road America on Saturday afternoon. I love it when we have new faces in victory lane. It just goes to show you, just because you haven't done it before doesn't mean you can't do it in the future.
Yeah, and we've seen strong...
Wait. But where was the outrage when that Cup guy, Michael McDowell, ruined the Xfinity Series?
He's a full-time Cup guy going over there and just shade treeing over there in the Xfinity Series, robbing from them poor kids over there, ruining their chase.
So there should have been some pitchforks and torches.
Oh, man.
I forgot. The thing
mad.
Is, well, he doesn't run them all, so...
Yeah, it's okay, then.
Yeah, all right, okay.
But we've seen strong performances. I've clearly have talked to Michael numerous times back when he runs some Joe Gibbs Racing stuff at Iowa and had extremely strong performances. I thought his entry into the Cup Series was a little too soon with a team that was really too soon for a rookie driver. Yeah. And it may have taken a couple of steps back to Michael's career. He has shown promise in everything he's gotten. We were kind of pseudo-teammates back when he ran an affiliated Team Penske car and did a lot of tests for us. And nothing but accolades came from our test team with Michael and how he performed in that 95 car back when it was a Ford. And now we've seen the affiliation with him and the RCR bunch. And, again, accolades are coming from Michael McDowell's experience level. That gives him an opportunity to hop in that Xfinity car and road course, and he showed why he belonged in there.
One of the best road racers in the business. And, I thought after we had Justin Marks on last week, at one point in that race, they were 1-2 and business partners over at GoPro Motorplex racing against each other, and you wonder how rough would they get with each other. It didn't work out that way, but still it was kind of cool to see, hey, these two guys could really be battling it out wheel to wheel for the win.
How about all of our road course winners with Justin and Michael and the Xfinity race there at Watkins Glen all do GoPro Motorsports Park? It's interesting.
They all do, and a lot of the guys go over there and have a lot of fun. It's a cool place if you haven't seen it up in Mooresville. Chad Johnston, as you see, there's going to join us a little bit later on. But as we mentioned, Kyle Larson got the victory at Michigan the second time we've been there with the new L2 even lower downforce package, whatever you want to call it. Here's what he had to say to our Winston Kelly from Victory Lane.
What did you have to do to maintain control of that car that last restart?
We both John forced it there down the front stretch. We lit him up pretty good. Luckily, I think the 2 got to my back bumper before him and stayed with me, too. Brad could have easily pulled down underneath me, and probably we could have raced into 1, and who knows what would have happened. So our Target Chevy was really good all day long. I made a mistake on the first pit stop. We were going to take 2, and I slid through it, and we had to take 4, and knew we had a car capable of winning. I thought me and Chase were pretty even. I knew if we didn't get a caution, we were going to be fine to the end.
What does it feel like now to know that you're in the chase this year?
Feels good. I didn't think after our luck we've had the last couple weeks we'd be in. So we have a really good team, and we're gonna be tough to beat in the chase. Those are pretty much all my good tracks aside from Bristol are in the chase. So looking forward to it.
And you know what else? There's another first that you may have noticed looking at the picture there of Kyle Larson.
Okay.
The first driver ever in the history of this sport to carry his own car into victory lane. And how did he beat all those guys with that little bitty car and they all had the full size? That's not what happened? Hey, this is about like you saying you had the Speedo on last week, so bear with me.
I got it
for a
on
moment.
now. What are you talking about?
First of all, ooh. Second of all, if you don't talk about it, it's not real.
You know what this week is?
Darlington Throwback Week.
And also STP Week.
It is STP Week. We're going to have special programming all week long, special throwback information. Check it out at MRN.com. You can find all kinds of cool stuff there. You can also find the throwback schemes that are really cool. We'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the program. But remember, it is STP Week here. STP Ultra Clean, Ultra Performance, Ultra Protection, STP's Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner, their most advanced formula. STP in for the long haul.
Throwback scheme. What a week.
Yeah.
What a week. How we built up to it. We get to go to Darlington coming off the tremendous weekend of all three series. New winners, Michigan, Road America, trucks. There was teammates that should have won that didn't let the other guy win.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we saw Larson in the two-car push and pass because that bottom lane had to get going. Notoriously, the leaders take the outside lane, which Chase was the leader on that last restart. We saw the road ringer.
My gosh, he just beat himself up again unmercifully after that race. It just makes you want to give the poor kid a hug. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
He's an excellent race car driver, and he's going to go to victory lane sooner or later. But
I don't
it just makes you feel for him when he hammers himself.
Yeah,
like
I don't
that.
think he's that good. He only finishes second all the time.
For now. This is his rookie season, keep in mind. Yeah.
He acts like he's been doing it for years. You know, it's funny, crew chief and I talked about another driver that's kind of a newer driver in the series, and they say on the radio, "This is the worst car I've had in my career." We're like, it's 2 years old, kid. You know, and that's how Chase is beating.
Maybe.
Yes, Chase is beating himself up for his rookie year in a car that was dominated with Jeff Gordon for a number of years. He's finished second at Michigan twice, and he really just needs to relax and enjoy what he's doing and just go and learn. Be a student of the game. Learn from your mistakes. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. It really will. This too shall pass.
It's why they put that yellow bumper on the back of your car.
And, you know, a lot of guys, once they get past that, they make a big show out of being able to peel that rookie tape off.
Yes.
They'll do like a Periscope or a Facebook video or something like that showing, I'm not a rookie anymore. I get to take this off.
Yeah, he'll be fine. His performance, and again, for the last couple of weeks, I do find some irony in that Hendrick Motorsports and the Chevrolet camp's been talking about, man, we really haven't been performing that well.
Mm-hmm.
I think they showed yesterday that they're going to do okay.
Yeah, I think they are as well. Before we go to break here, I got to ask you about the bad news situation. You guys didn't make it through post-race tech, and we've seen this crop up a half a dozen times or so during the course of the season from winners and non-winners along the way.
You know, before the race, you go through the laser inspection program. Laser, I've been told to use that whenever I say laser.
Yeah.
But we go through it, and the car passes, and then after the race, the car doesn't pass. We've seen it 4 or 5 times this year. Things bend. They don't bend back and reset after the race like they're supposed to or like planned, and we'll accept a penalty, I'm sure, monetary and points. With only 2 races to go and the number of wins, you know, you don't ever want to get penalized for anything you do, but it's part of the sport. It's the line that NASCAR has drawn, and sometimes in our effort to perform well, we go over the line, and we'll pay the penalty.
And this won't be the last time that somebody has this problem along the way, and we'll just pick it up and move on.
That's it. That's all you can do. It's like I say, we've seen race winners have this exact same penalty, as well as random cars that didn't even perform that well have this penalty. So things happen during the race. NASCAR has drawn a line. We know where it's at, and we try to butt up against that line sometimes. But sometimes you're against the line, but on the other side.
Yeah,
that's
that much over
exactly
is all
right.
it takes.
So,
all right, as we mentioned, a big show coming up for you today. We'll have representatives from all the first-time winners on the program. Michael McDowell will join us a little bit later on after his win at Road America. Chad Johnston will join us, the crew chief for Kyle Larson, after their win at Michigan. But on the other side of the break, Brett Moffitt will be along to tell us how he won the truck race at Michigan. Stick around.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
I'm Steve Letarte for STP. As a former crew chief, I know about winning and what it takes to keep your engine performing at its best. That's why I recommend STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner. STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner is STP's most advanced fuel additive. It's been formulated to help remove harmful deposits from intake valves and restore fuel injector performance. For more than 60 years, STP products have proven themselves mile after mile. Take it from me, if you want to go with the winner, go with STP. In for the long haul.
Is it true that you built the first Harley in a barn? That's a myth. It was a shed, not a barn. A Discovery Channel original. This is it. This is our venture. A motorized bicycle. We gotta be different. We gotta be tough. You know the name. Harley Davidson. Now hear the legend. What you saw here was only the beginning.
What's it like?
Like an explosion between your legs. Based on the true story.
It'll be too loud, too dangerous. Nobody's gonna want to buy that.
People will want it, trust me. Harley and the Davidsons, a 3-night television event starting Monday, September 5th at 9 on Discovery.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits, and a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. One per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
I'm Tyler Reddick, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with the infamous Joey Meyer and Woody Kane.
White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go in the Careers for Veterans 200.
Side by side for the final time and 3 wide. Here comes Moffitt around the outside. Brett Moffitt sails it deep into turn number 2. Moffitt to the lead. Byron side by side now with Peters for second and third.
Brett Moffitt, what a move through turns 1 and 2. Now he's got to navigate turns 3 and 4. Moffitt is your leader. His teammate Timothy Peters looks low. Now looks to the high side. Peters looking to the high side, but Moffitt leads off turn 4.
Coming up off of the corner, Brett Moffitt doing all he can to hang on. Teammate Timothy Peters stalking him off turn 4 to the checkered flag. The race win belongs to Brett Moffitt. He wins the Careers for Veterans 200 at the Michigan International Speedway for his first career NASCAR Camping World Truck Series victory. Brett Moffitt with a bold move up off of turn number 2 a lap ago will head to Gatorade Victory Lane as we head to pit road.
Alex Hayden, Steve Post, Dave Moody, and Kurt Becker on the call from Michigan as Brett Moffitt, driver of the number 11 Red Horse Toyota Tundra, goes to victory lane. He joins us on the guest line now. Brett, congratulations, man, and you got to tell us about that 3-wide move for victory. That looked like a guy who said, this one's mine.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome there. It couldn't have worked out any better the way the 9 and the 17 got to side drafting and kind of slowing each other down. And I knew I had to go where they weren't, and I was hoping it would stick and the gray was clean up there, and luckily it was. And from then on, just trying to hold them off down the backstretch and through 3 and 4, and luckily everything worked out in our favor there.
You know, before the race is even over, we have to back up a couple of days and show up at Michigan for practice. When we go to Michigan, because of the different races the trucks act like on this super speedway, you guys actually go out almost like a Daytona, Talladega-style mentality. Did you guys work on leading a pack, being in the draft, or how'd that work for you guys?
We really worked on being in the draft. You know, you're getting a lot of the draft, and it makes for a lot of speed, but it's a lot more of a handful than the Daytonas and Talladegas. So you really need to work on the handling. These trucks tend to get really loose for some reason at Michigan behind other trucks. And so the biggest thing was having decent single-car speed to where we could qualify up front and run well for track position, but then we just needed to be able to handle well. And I knew as the run goes on, the trucks really become a handful getting into especially turn 3 there where it's real flat entry. So we really worked on that, and Scott Zippadelli and all the guys on our number 11 Red Horse team did a great job of working hard all day and keeping their heads in the game, and when it came time, we made the right calls.
Chatting with Brett Moffitt, who drove the number 11 Toyota Tundra for Red Horse Racing to victory at Michigan International Speedway on Saturday. Brett, you had to wait out some rain along the way. The track had spent a lot of time dragging tires, trying to help another groove come in along the way. How much did that change things for you from what you saw in practice to what you felt in the race?
It really didn't seem to change it too much. It seemed like maybe the first 10 laps or so, the truck was a little bit looser than when the track was really rubbered in, but a lot of the rubber from the tire machine seemed to stay down pretty well. Didn't really wash too much of it off with the rain, but about 10 laps in, it was back to where we were in practice, and luckily our truck was pretty steady there.
We go to the end of the race. It's 100 laps long, and you're now on a restart behind your teammate with Timothy Peters. This is your 4th race of the year. Timothy's running the whole year. We have chase implications with teams. When did you decide, because obviously you were going to be behind Timothy, and did you ever consciously say, I'm going to win this race, I understand I can't help my teammate?
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword for sure. You know, they really need to win to secure their spot in the chase. Right now they're in on points, but, you know, over the next couple of races, anybody has a shot at winning. So for us, it was line up on the same line as them. He was going to pick the line of whichever I would be in for the restart so I could give him a good push. And it said after that, you know, it's a fair game. So as long as we weren't going to get into each other and totally ruin someone's day, it was kind of have at it. And like I said there, when the 9 and the 17 got to side drafting, I was kind of chuckling in my head. I'm like, this couldn't be any more perfect. So that was the moment where you know it was just go for what you can and you know, try to win.
He was chuckling in his head at 190 miles an hour.
See, I don't know if I'd be more like screaming if I was going that fast. Yeah. So,
well,
Brett,
it was a perfect storm. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's it's really cool the way it all worked out for you. But let's back up a little bit. You were driving at Michael Waltrip Racing on the Cup side. Tell us how you got from that point to here with Red Horse, because it really seems like it's been a good fit for you guys.
Yeah, it really is. You know, it's honestly, it was a lot of heartache and determination what got me back here. You know, I thought I had a solid deal and a constant home at Michael Waltrip Racing for the next few years, and when that deal shut down, that kind of put me out on the streets, and I had nothing going on this year. And with the way everything worked out with Matt Tiff being out for some races, and you know, he's doing a lot better now, and he'll be back in the truck soon. But the biggest thing was just Tom taking a chance on me and giving me a great opportunity to drive a really good race truck. And man, I just can't thank them enough for taking the risk and for everything that they believe in me and our partners at Toyota as well.
You know, one of the unique opportunities, we always talk about this as a team and how it builds and momentum and strength, but you have to do it consistently. You've run 4 races, and not only have you only run 4 races, but they've been different: Kentucky, Pocono, Bristol, and now Michigan. How do you attribute that, or how did you guys come up with a different schedule for those different races, and what does 2016 have for you for the rest of the year?
Yeah, as far as scheduling, it was basically just whatever open races. You know, after the Kentucky race was a one-time deal, and after that went well, and Tom was really happy, and everyone on the team were really happy, and we decided we wanted to extend this partnership and keep working together, and so we're just filling in the open races until Matt gets back. But you know, it really is a testament to their team, showing how strong they are on all types of racetracks. And you know, they've always had a really good short track program in the past, and I think we're making really big gains on the 1.5 mile and the speedway trucks as well.
So what's ahead for you? Are you going to go to Canada this weekend, for example?
Yeah, yep. Canada right now is the last one on my schedule, but Tom and everyone's working really hard to maybe try to extend that a little bit, and hopefully just dip and do some more racing.
What are you doing to occupy your time without the racing? We hear you're celebrating a little bit of National Dog Day in the background.
I'm here to walk outside. My dogs are going crazy.
No, I know the feeling, man. I know.
That's exactly right.
But yeah, it's a lot of riding bikes right now. I'm actually training for another triathlon that we're going to do in December. Me and Ryan Reed and a couple other buddies are going to go down to Florida and do. So we have more than a friendly competition going on there, but just trying to stay in shape, we're not.
Uh-oh, I think the dog got him.
The dog got his phone.
Yeah, I think he did.
Brett,
right.
Dog got your phone.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
there you go. There we go. All right.
Sorry.
That's all right. So you're out with the dog now and training for a triathlon, and you have a good competition going on with some guys, especially Ryan Reed. That kind of stuff, a lot of folks say these drivers aren't athletes, but how much does stuff like that benefit you behind the wheel?
You know, it's big. It's actually funny. Jimmy Johnston has started wearing his heart rate monitor and everything from biking in the car, and he saw a max heart rate at Bristol of 191 beats per minute or something like that, which is extremely high, and that just shows how hard it is in these race cars and how much your adrenaline's going. And you know, for me, if I can go ride in this lovely 100-degree heat we have here in the summer and do that for 2 or 3 hours a day, it gets me ready to be focused in the car under the same conditions.
Yep, but you guys aren't athletes.
That's what they say. That's what they keep telling us. I'm not buying it, but that's what I keep hearing.
Yeah, that's a sensitive subject, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Well, listen, we really appreciate you taking the time with us, Brett. We know you got a busy schedule today, and look forward to catching up with you in Canada. Congratulations on a huge win there at Michigan.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
I hope so.
There you go. Brett Moffitt with Red Horse Racing. That's Tom he mentioned, Tom DeLoach, the head of the team there, giving him an opportunity, and he will be at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park this weekend.
Yeah, and again, we understand, or you have to think about why is he in this truck, because Matt Tifft isn't in the truck. Well, where's Matt? He's getting his brain work done, and now he's in perfect rehab, drove a late model testing over at Hickory. So it's amazing how when you have an opportunity, and we've seen it for a number of years, kids come in, opportunities are presented, they make the most of it. Does he have a future at Red Horse? That wasn't the plan, right?
Maybe.
Correct. So you've taken the opportunity. He's made the most of it because of another driver that's temporarily out of that seat. He hops in the seat. His last 3 finishes, a third, a second, and a first.
Pretty good, pretty sporty.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier him battling his teammate for the victory. We also chatted with Timothy Peters after the race on Saturday at Michigan.
Got a good push by my teammate on the initial start, and they're coming to the white. The 9 just locked onto us and shoved us really hard down into turn 3. But, we're racing for the win and try to get in this chase. Good thing that we finished 1-2, and the trophy's coming back to Red Horse. So, great day for our organization. Wish we were on the winning side of it and locked into the chase, but again, great day for us, great momentum to go into Canada next weekend. But everyone at Red Horse, Triad, Toyota, just it's a great day.
Really good battle coming down to the wire here in the Camping World Truck Series now. Those last couple of spots, as you mentioned last week, some guys could get knocked out here and have good enough points to be there, but somebody unexpected could win and bump some of these guys down, and Timothy Peters could be one of those guys. You see the numbers on the screen.
Yeah, simply put, if we have 2 new winners in the next 2 races, your second and third place drivers in points are not in the chase. And that's pretty amazing. That's a tough competition. That's what NASCAR's trying to create, is the level of competition to where wins matter. And right now, simply put, the 17 and the 19, Timothy Peters and Daniel Hemrick have not won a race, but they've had very good years.
Absolutely.
And the conversation between teammates, Brett Moffitt has limited opportunity. It was better for him to win than it was for him to push his teammate to victory.
Yeah.
Even though as a company, they might want to get in that chase, which they do. But for Brett Moffitt in his career, he chose the path for him that was better, and that's very good for good kudos.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully it'll lead to some other opportunities for him down the road. As we mentioned, he will be at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park this weekend. You can hear that race Sunday here on the Motor Racing Network before the Bojangles Southern 500 at Darlington. All right, quick little segue here before we get to our other 2 guests on the program. Let's do our on-track, off-track segment. This is where we talk about some things that are going well in the sport and some things that maybe aren't going quite so well. What's going well?
Well, first of all, this is going to be a very unique on-track, off-track.
First.
Yep, a first. So if you've listened to our show or watched our show, this is the first time we're going to do an on-track, off-track like this. My on-track was an L2. We call it L2, the second lower downforce package. We just saw a fantastic application of that. But don't get confused because you didn't see beating and banging and side-by-side racing like we want to come to at Martinsville or Bristol or Loudon, New Hampshire. Because at Michigan, it is a speedway. These cars are exceeding 210, 212, 2010, to borrow a line from Darrell Waltrip.
I like that.
Okay, so you saw a package that allowed faster cars to pass slower cars. And as dumb as that sounds, it's one of the things we haven't seen with the aero disadvantages that cars in back have. The leader gets out in front, he automatically drives away from people. We saw Chase Elliott drive down and pass the 48 teammates. That's what this package allows us. It is a speedway race, and this racing was going on in speeds of excess of 200 miles an hour. The L2 package, in my opinion, was a home run.
I agree. It's been spectacular. Kentucky may not have been the best read since it was a repave, and there were some different variables there, but we've run it twice at Michigan now, and I think I've heard pretty much universal praise for it, and that might be what we're going to see full-time next year in 2017. All right, for me, on the good side, the throwbacks that we're going to see at Darlington coming coming up this weekend. All those are at MRN.com. You can look up at the top the Darlington STP Throwback Weekend or week we're having here. All kinds of special programming and features all week long. But those throwback cars are really, really cool. And we were talking before the show, how cool is it when you see the actual paint scheme as it used to be? For example, Matt Kenseth bringing the Tide Ride back.
Yep. No, the paint schemes, the idea behind Throwback, Darlington, the oldest super speedway that we actually go to, the teams, the sponsors, the drivers, they all get into it. We've seen Eric Amarola get the big mustache going on. He looks just like Richard Petty. Those cars bring back memories. It allows the sponsors to get involved with other teams that normally Tide normally isn't involved with. Gibbs, for instance. We have the Miller Lite, the original Miller Lite can, which is going to look really cool on a race car. We have white pants, white shirts.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be really cool. So it's just a great weekend all around for the Throwback scheme at Darlington, which is one of our oldest tracks we go to.
All right, now let's go to Off Track, and this is a first on the program because I think you have what?
It was a really good weekend for NASCAR. If you paid attention to all three races with all three winners and all three different, the two different tracks and all three series, it was a really good weekend. As much time as hard of a time we always give NASCAR, kudos. It was just a good weekend. Nothing to complain about. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. I got no complaints this weekend as well, and there you go. You got the cheer from the crowd along the way. I agree wholeheartedly. Don't have anything to complain about this week, and we still have a big program coming up for you the rest of the way on Motorsports Monday. Michael McDowell is still to come after his win at Road America on Saturday afternoon, but next, the crew chief for Kyle Larson, Chad Johnston, will join us after their big victory. Kyle's first at Michigan and first overall in the Sprint Cup Series. Stick around, everyone.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits, and a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. One per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
I'm Steve Letarte for STP. As a former crew chief, I know about winning and what it takes to keep your engine performing at its best. That's why I recommend STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner. STP Ultra 5-in-1 Fuel System Cleaner is STP's most advanced fuel additive. It's been formulated to help remove harmful deposits from intake valves and restore fuel injector performance. For more than 60 years, STP products have proven themselves mile after mile. Take it from me, if you want to go with the winner, go with STP. In for the long haul.
Motor Racing Network, glad to have you aboard for our coverage of practice, something we will be doing all throughout the year.
They are pretty close in practice.
You said you learned a lot in practice.
We can have a good, clean practice.
How many teams are going to opt out of practice?
Get this practice session underway.
As we close out practice.
What are we talking about? Practice? We're talking about practice, man.
We are talking practice. Sprint Cup Series practice on the Motor Racing Network. Join us all season long on MRN.com and the MRN app.
I'm Rico Abreu, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with Joey Meyer and Woody Kane.
The 24-year-old native of California rockets off turn number 4, and he sees the white flag. The Credit One Bank, 1 to go. Kyle Larson, 2 miles from his first career win. He's back in turn 1.
4 more corners for the Target Chevrolet. It's been a long time coming, but this one is going to be oh so sweet. Final time off turn number 2, Kyle Larson on his way.
1/2 of a lap to get it done. 1 mile is all that remains for Kyle Larson. Back to turn 3 for the last time. Again, perfectly in the middle of turns 3 and 4. Kyle Larson back on the throttle looking for checkers.
The wait is over for Kyle Larson. Here he comes off turn number 4, and Kyle Larson is a NASCAR Sprint Cup Series winner. He gets the win at the Michigan International Speedway.
How about that? Jeff Striegel, Alex Hayden, Dave Moody, and Kurt Becker on the call. First victory in the Sprint Cup Series for Kyle Larson. And Joey, this is something that's been very, very close, and typically what we see with guys is they have to knock on the door a few times before it opens, and that certainly has been the case with Kyle Larson.
One of the things we've seen in both series that Kyle has run for a long time, he ran the Xfinity Series, Nationwide Series before coming into a Cup car. He's the one driver that enjoys running a high line or a high bump or apron, and he's really good. Well, Michigan doesn't offer that, so it's kind of a unique deal. But what it does offer is it offers a high lane of a groove, and he's able to get up there, even though it's not all the way up against the wall that we've come accustomed to. his first win came at a track that he was able to run against the wall at California. The interesting thing is that's the sister track of where he gets his first Cup win. Those guys over at Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates and the Target guys have been performing well, have had performance. The execution for the entire event has been up and down the scale, and that's why they knew this was just a matter of executing an entire race from the very green flag lap to the checkered flag lap. He did get a little help at the end with Brad, being able to push that bottom lane, but the bottom lane didn't normally get a good restart. So we saw a good restart on the bottom with two guys that were able to push out in front, and then he drove away to get his first win.
That almost looked like the second row was going to drive through the front row in that one on the final restart.
That's how important it is to have good restarts.
Because both cars got a little bump there.
Exactly right. Chase Elliott, who spun his tires and is hard on himself, didn't do anything wrong. He was being aggressive. Ryan Blaney behind him was being aggressive, and the guys behind the third row were being aggressive. But both those lines got going. But Kyle Larson had speed all afternoon and was able to run a little bit higher line, not against the wall like we're accustomed to seeing him do, but run a little bit higher line and be fast all afternoon.
And if a late caution hadn't come out, it might have been Chase Elliott's victory because he had over a second lead on Kyle Larson there before. I think it was a flat tire from the 83 De Benedetto maybe late that caused that last caution. Somebody had a flat late that brought out the last caution. It just goes to show you how circumstances can change things quickly. And at a track like this, as you mentioned with the new package, people could actually make passes. Don't get me wrong, there's still something to be said for clean air on the nose, but we saw guys be able to drive up behind people, loosen them up, and drive by if they were quicker.
Yeah, and you didn't even need to loosen those cars up. It was simply the fact that the penalty that you paid tucked in behind somebody was a lot lower. And if your car was performing equal to theirs, you could race them on an equal ground. And that's what that little 2.5-inch spoiler, it's comical to see because not only did we take inches away on the top, but we also narrowed it up. It's almost non-existent. Your spoiler on your street car, if you have a Mustang or Camaro, is 10 times as large as these spoilers are. Yeah. And it makes it comical to see that little 2.5-inch spoiler that these guys are relying on at 2.010 into the corners.
It makes you do a double take when you walk through the garage and see them. You think, well, they just have oh, wait, there it is. It's right there.
Yeah, there's no spoiler, but it's there.
Yeah, it's just very, very short. On the other end of the spectrum, Chris Buescher had a bad day in terms of they struggled with a mechanical issue early on, got it fixed, but by then he had lost several laps. He needs to stay ahead of David Reagan to stay in the top 30 in the points to be able to take advantage of that win he got at Pocono. Right now, Chase Elliott is among the winless guys in 14th, Austin Dillon 15th, Jamie McMurray 16th, Ryan Newman just on the outside looking in 15 points behind out of the top 16. And we've got a couple of weeks left here to determine who's going to make the chase.
Yep, Darlington and Richmond are our last two races to get into the chase. And we only have 12 drivers that are clinched. So if the chase started now,
I was waiting for that.
It would be 2 races early.
Yeah, it would. First of all, and that would be wrong.
It'd be 2 races early, but we only have 12 that are locked in. We still have 4 potential spots with movement. Chris Buescher having the edge, all he has to do is stay inside that top 30. It sounds easy. They practiced all weekend. They start the race, they're down a cylinder.
Right.
When the green flag drops, he's running 7 cylinders, and they have to work on that car to try to keep it on the lead lap the best they can. He stayed on the lead lap. They were able to change spark plugs. They changed 8 spark plugs in 2 laps. One side on for 1 lap, went back out, came back out, used another lap to get back on to change the other 4 spark plugs, and worked on that mechanical issue until they got it fixed.
Yeah, they sure did. He wound up a few laps down at the end, but a nice recovery considering what happened. We mentioned Chase Elliott saying he spun his tires and didn't have the last restart that he wanted, similar to what happened to him last time at Michigan. Here's what he had to say after the race.
Take us through those last few laps, and what more did you need to give to Kyle Larson?
Just a better restart again. That was what that's what it was all about, for sure. Once that guy got out front, it was really hard to pass him. My guys did such a good job today of making the most of pit road. That was really about the only place you could make a large sum of ground in a short period of time, and they did exactly what I asked them to do. I said, you guys are going to have to bail me out here. I messed up, and they did. They got us the lead just like I asked, and I gave it away again. So it's one of those things where you do or you don't, and I didn't, and you just got to recognize your mistakes, look at the positives, I guess, and move on down the road.
That's something that we talk about a lot on restarts, and you hear spotters and crew chiefs telling drivers, don't spin your tires, don't spin your tires. And I imagine the technique or how quickly you get to the gas is different based on every track surface you go to, but it's just something that's technique and comes through experience.
Years ago, Ron Hornaday was the restart master in the Truck Series. Then later on, we've seen Kyle Busch kind of take over that crown. Recently, Joey Logano has been the restart king. There is a technique to do it correctly, but more importantly, there's a technique to do it incorrectly. And more drivers do it wrong than drivers do it right. And that's why a driver that does it correctly stands out. If 40 drivers had great restarts, they would all just have great restarts.
It'd look like another parade lap.
That's exactly right. But we see the Ron Hornadays, the Kyle Busches, and the Joey Logano's, they are really good at their craft at a restart, realizing how important it is to get your car going faster than the guy next to you and behind you. You can make passes or you can stay out in front. When done incorrectly, you see the immediate result of an incorrect restart when guys just have normal restarts.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the last two Michigan races, Chase Elliott mentioned he actually used the wrong gear back in the spring at Michigan. He was in second, wanted to be in first, or vice versa. And then yesterday was in the proper gear, but just had too much tire spin. There are things that drivers can do to prevent tire spin, and he'll learn that. Again, a yellow bumper on his car. He needs to stop beating himself up so much and realize that he ran second with a chance to win.
Yeah.
Ryan Blaney, who come home fourth, was ecstatic. They put together the entire day. No mistakes on the track, no mistakes on pit road, performance of the car, and it was fantastic.
All right, let's go to the guest line now and welcome on the crew chief of the number 42 Target Chevrolet at Chip Ganassi Racing with Felix Sabates, Chad Johnston. Man, congratulations. I know you had to feel like you guys have been so close before. When is it going to happen? And yesterday it finally did.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, we're really proud of everybody here at Chip Ganassi Racing and excited to get our first win and hopefully the first of many and get that 42 Target Chevrolet locked in for the chase and make a run for that big silver trophy at the end of the year.
Yeah, man, you're locked into the chase. You've had a race win before with Martin Truex, but Martin had won before. This has to be special. You hold on to your first wins forever. It had to have been coming, and you saw it. Did you think it was going to happen at Michigan?
Yeah, we knew that after the last few weeks, we've had really strong cars and had a chance to finish well, and things haven't went our way. So we knew that Michigan and Darlington was going to be by our best two shots to get a win before the chase started, and I knew that we felt like we had to win to get into the chase. So Michigan was definitely at the top of the list. Darlington, obviously is a good place for him as well. We didn't feel so as good about Richmond, but anything can happen there.
We were talking earlier before you came on about how much Kyle loves the high groove, and we saw him get his first Xfinity win at a similar track to Michigan out at Auto Club Speedway. You mentioned Darlington, where you have to run right up against the wall. As a crew chief, what does that do to you in terms of trying to figure out setups for a guy who wants to be up there in the first place?
Yeah, Darlington's a little bit easier because everybody kind of runs the wall through 1 and 2, and then obviously there's a bottom and a top groove in 3 and 4, and we've got our cars driving pretty well to where they drive pretty well top and bottom, so it makes it a little bit easier. Obviously, you want a car that you can move around and you can run top and bottom. You don't want to be, lane sensitive and only be married to one way, because a lot of times if it's a top groove racetrack, that top groove will go away. So you got to be able to move around and find grip, and that suits his style and what he's used to with his dirt racing background of moving around and finding grip, and he's one of the better ones at it.
All right, well, as a crew chief, you have to look at the big picture. Michigan's gone. We go to Darlington and Richmond, and then we have 10 races for the chase. When I look down at your stats, I see either really good days and nights or really bad days. How do you close the gap?
Yeah, we've had really fast cars. We just, got to keep ourselves in better position, track position-wise, to not get wrecked and be back in traffic to where it's more likely to happen. So qualifying better, starting with track position makes your day go a lot easier. Unloading with fast cars, which we've been doing the last 3 or 4 months. So, we'll just keep plugging away and start, keep taking better and better race cars to the racetrack and qualifying better. And, starting with track position is a lot easier to keep it than it is to try to get it. So we'll just keep on course. We've been plugging away at it and making improvements every week, and we'll continue to do so. And got a lot of good racetracks coming up for us, we feel, in the chase, and see if we can't make it to that Final Four at Homestead.
Are you the cheerleader of the team, or does Kyle Larson rely more on that?
I think it's everybody. Everybody's pretty self-motivated on this 42 team, and they don't take a lot of cheerleading. We know we got a job to do, and we're all here for the same reasons, to win and to compete for wins every week and compete for a championship. That's what our goals were at the beginning of the year, were to make the chase and contend for wins and contend for a championship. So we've checked one of those boxes, and we got a few more boxes to check, and everybody's, focused on that. And, while it's great to have a win, we're going to savor the win, but we're not going to focus on it too much, and we're going to move on to Darlington and see if we can't click off of one or two more.
Chatting with Chad Johnston, the crew chief on the number 42 Target Chevrolet. They got their first win for Kyle Larson at Michigan on Sunday. Let's back up for a second, Chad, and give us your assessment of this L2 or even lower downforce package that we've seen twice now at Michigan and once at Kentucky. Do you think we're on the right track here?
Yeah, I think so. And, it's more the drivers, what the drivers feel like they need to make racing a little bit better and put it more in their hands. And I think the downforce package is a step in the direction. I think the biggest thing that it does is allow us Goodyear to go back to the drawing board and make something that's, a little bit softer and maybe wears out a little bit more and broaden that range of what they can bring to the racetrack. I think, the softer we can make the tires and the more fall off we can get in the tires, I think the racing's going to be, a lot better. But I think what that low downforce package does is allows them to kind of open up their realm to where they don't have to bring something that's hard just to get it to live.
All right, well, one of the things we get to do, we get to have a little bit of fun this weekend at Darlington and get to dress up in our goofy throwback uniforms and polyester leisure suits and different things. Tell our fans how the Target got involved with the sponsorship and what throwback scheme exactly are you guys running?
Yeah, our Target Chevy this week at Darlington will be the very first paint scheme that Target had when they came into motorsports. So we're happy to have it on there, and hopefully, I know one thing: it'll look good in Victory Lane and look good up front. So we're gonna try to do that and see if we can't click off another win before the chase starts and get a couple more bonus points going into the chase.
So, and you got some white bell-bottom pants to go with it, right?
Yeah, probably not. I might have to go see if I can't find some of those. I'm more of a jeans and T-shirt kind of guy, so yeah. I'll have to do some searching to find something like that.
That's fantastic. Well, Chad, we really appreciate your time. Congratulations on the big win and making it to the chase now, and look forward to catching up with you guys at Darlington and Richmond.
All right, thank you guys for having me. We look forward to seeing you guys down there.
There you go. Chad Johnston. Boy, it's good. We mentioned how cool it is to see new faces in Victory Lane. And remember, it's not so long ago that Chad Johnston went through that year with Tony Stewart when all the turmoil was going around off the track and their performance on the track wasn't so good. It's great to see him keep digging personally and persevere and come up with that victory.
So when we start the chase in 2 weeks, there's 16 drivers eligible for a championship through a 9-race period, and then 4. They get whittled down to 4 at Homestead. Mm-hmm. There's certain drivers, the Kyle Bushes, the Brad Keselowskis, that you expect them and their team to perform and execute at a high level. They've done that all year long. Mm-hmm. Kyle Larson and Chad Johnston are scary because they have been able to kind of be off the radar, but whenever they run good, they run really good.
They sort of remind you of Martin Truex Jr. They've been fast almost everywhere, but luck kind of gets in the way sometimes.
Exactly right. The issues that they have are easily fixed. And what I mean by that is if they were slow and in the chase, you'd be like, man, we really need to find speed. Mm-hmm. And finding speed isn't a matter of dialing up a bottle of Gription.
Oh, okay? There you go,
okay?
Gription.
It's not a matter of finding and turning the speed knob.
Mm-hmm. Okay? You don't have one of those?
Yeah, I wish we did.
Yeah.
Okay, but when they go to a racetrack, they understand, okay, all we have to do is our job normally. Our pit crew just needs to pull out 11-second, 12-second stops. I know it sounds easy, but on a piece of paper, you can easily define. When they go back and look at race tapes, there was a mistake made or they didn't execute well. You can write that down and fix it. Mm-hmm. Speed encompasses a lot, and those guys have it, and that's why they're scary, because they could easily, just like you said, they easily win the next race at Darlington.
They could.
Easily win these races coming up in the chase without a doubt.
Absolutely, and they have been very fast all year long. Looking forward to seeing them make some noise in the chase. All right, another time out here on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, the other first-time winner of the weekend, Michael McDowell, got the victory at Road America. He'll join us on the other side of the break.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there. Whether you're running on dirt or running a job, Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
From work life to nightlife, from home to the road, your day can take you anywhere. These fast-paced times call for Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Advanced Comfort is designed to keep up with you, no matter where you go or what you're doing. They're made with 20% stronger denim and 4-way flex technology that moves with you. Wrangler Advanced Comfort. Go anywhere, look great, and be comfortable. Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Try on a pair today.
The NHRA season is heating up, and MotorRacingNetwork.com keeps the nitro burning every Thursday afternoon at 12 Eastern.
Tony Schumacher joins us. Big moments are presented, and big teams show up.
Join Marty Huff and Doug Herbert as they talk with the hottest NHRA drivers each week. Brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's The Straight Line, Thursdays at noon Eastern, only on the MotorRacingNetwork.com.
Hi, this is Brian Scott, and you're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with Joey Meyer and Woody Kane.
For the final time through Kettle Bottoms and into turn number 12, Canada corner, Michael McDowell, 2-car length lead. Brendan Gaughan drives it in deep. He can't make it stick, slips a little. It's now Michael McDowell with about a 2-car length lead as they make the turn through turn 13.
Michael McDowell thundering down the short chute. Brendan Gaughan 2-car lengths back. Now 1-car length back as they work into turn number 14. McDowell on the bottom. Here comes Brendan Gaughan as they come up the hill.
It's a drag race up the hill. Who's it going to be, McDowell or Brendan Gaughan? Brendan Gaughan cannot shut down the distance. Checkered flag in the air, and the Road America 180 belongs to Michael McDowell.
Tony Rizzuti, Tony Bachhoven, and Mike Bagley there on the end of the call at Road America. I was there on Saturday as well, working in the carousel area, and that was some race to see. At one point, it rained in the morning, and we thought, okay, we might start on rain tires. Then it cleared. Everything was dry. Everything was good. Then the rain started to creep back in a little bit, and NASCAR has a situation where they throw the caution flag and call the track damp. Then it's on the teams as to whether or not they want to change to the wet weather tires or not. It wound up blowing over and getting out of the area quickly, but that was a great duel. Alex Tagliani had the field covered early on, and then he and Michael McDowell tangled.
Yeah, I think, first of all, if you have an opportunity to listen to these races here on MRN, on the app or on the internet, but make sure you get I got goosebumps listening to the excitement of the announcers knowing that Michael McDowell was getting ready to win his first race. Brendan Gaughan's right behind him. They're teammates. He needs to win a race because his career might be ending, as we know it, in the Xfinity Series at the end of 2016. What better way to have a win in your last year of racing for Richard Childress Racing? So there's two teammates battling side by side. You were in the carousel. Were there horses in the carousel?
Okay, really? You're going to bring that up again? You know what I mean.
But the excitement level was amazing. So Michael McDowell, who's been good, got into Alex Tagliani, who's a road course ringer, has been running for Team Penske for a number of years. But at that point in time, I believe the impatientness of Tagliani should have given up that spot. Why do I say that? Because all he has to do is let Michael go by.
I'm not sure he knew McDowell was there when he made that move. I'm thinking he tried to go where he would normally go on the track, and McDowell already had a fender there.
But Michael didn't just appear.
No, he didn't appear.
Michael had been there for a while.
Yeah.
And there's that device up there that some guys use a lot more than others.
What is that?
The rearview mirror.
Oh.
Yeah, he knew.
You know what it usually says? I don't know if it does at a race car. Objects in your mirror are closer than
he
they
knew
appear.
he was there. But I wish, looking back on that race, that Alex could have given the spot away, because at that point in the race, he wasn't quite as fast as McDowell was. McDowell was really putting pressure on him. And what it did was it caused the spin, those contact, because Michael got tired of being blocked, correctly so, and simply got into the 22 car, and those guys spun out. But instead of having to only pass one car, once your car got better, he had to drive from the back of the field, which he did.
And he did it.
Yes, he did. Okay, but it was a lot harder to drive to the field than it would have been. And I believe had Alex been in the series and run the circuit a little bit more, he got bumped out of the lead last corner last year by Regan Smith. This year he wanted to be a little more defensive, and it cost him. But Michael did exactly what he wanted to do, what he needed to do, battling his teammate, the excitement, listen to those guys coming to the checker. Need to listen to these races coming up on MRN here at Darlington.
one of the funny thing you mentioned Regan Smith, who drove the 7 car last year at Junior Motorsports and got into Tagliani, as you said. Justin Allgaier is in the 7 car this year. He made a point to go to Alex Tagliani and say, "Hey, look, it's a different guy. It's not the same guy in that 7 car. So when you see it, don't be like a bull charging the red cape here."
Yeah, Road America, it brings out the best and the worst in a lot of drivers because
I love that track.
Yeah, it is a good track. It's high speed, a lot of passing zones. The caution laps are a little too long.
I think there were 6.5 minutes under caution.
I wish we had a cut through that we could shorten just the caution laps up. That we run a different course.
I agree with you.
It would be interesting because the caution laps are a little too long. And again, when somebody messes up and oils down the track over in the far side of the corner, it's a lot of speedy dry or a lot of places to get back those wrecked cars. But a fantastic weekend at Road America. The fans up there turned out in droves to see it. The weather put on a good show. We didn't have to worry about treaded tires and rain tires and possibly taking away a victory from Justin Marks because he was going to put it on him.
He was very
again.
good all day.
Yeah, and he was waiting for it to rain.
He was, and I think some people said Brendan Gaughan, notably that you mentioned, were among the guys who were eager to have a little rain get out there because he's very good on the rain tires as well. You know what we ran into at Mid-Ohio, the guys, they're required to have a windshield wiper, they're required to have a defogger and a rear taillight in those cars, but at Mid-Ohio we saw some of the windshield wipers failed. Some of the defoggers failed, and guys were coming in and just wiping down the windshield when they'd make pit stops so they could see. It's almost like playing Tank Commander out there.
Yeah, well, now we get to see a different form of road course racing because now the Xfinity and the Cup guys, well, we have our throwback weekend here in Darlington, South Carolina, which, again, you can catch those schemes on our website, MRN.com. Fantastic website to see the pictures. My favorite is Derek Cope in the 70. He has a throwback from his 1990 Series Daytona 500 victory.
The chicken bone race.
The old Purolator car, fantastic paint scheme. But now the trucks get to go to Canadian Motorsports Park, and that's an interesting concept because, again, we have two races, 2 spots for those guys to claim a spot in the chase.
Yeah, and it should be fun to watch along the way. Joining us now on the guest line is the driver of that number 2 Rheem Camaro for Richard Childress Racing. Got his first win of the season, or his first career win, I should say, at Road America. Michael McDowell, man, congratulations. That was a heck of a race.
Well, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun. I've been so close there so many times to finally pulling the victory lane. It was meant a lot to me for sure.
When do you go to Road America? We've talked to a lot of younger drivers that go to road courses that don't get an opportunity. Do you prep anyway? Do you prepare any different way to go there?
I probably prepare the same way I do for the ovals. I watch all the video and I try to take as much notes as I can every year that I'm there, and I go back through those notes and go back through the practices and what I fought and the changes we made, and watch the video and see where you screw up and where you did all right and avoid the screw ups and try to execute the next time you go.
Michael, we were talking earlier about we had rain in the morning at Road America, and then in the course of the race, we had one little shower come over, and NASCAR was going to give you guys the opportunity to make the call. How close were you to going to rain tires? Because some places on the track were pretty dry, and a couple of other places were pretty wet.
Yeah, I never really thought about the rain tires. It was raining just enough to lose grip, obviously, on the slicks. But it was so dry everywhere else, and I've raced several times on rain tires, and not necessarily in NASCAR, but a lot of different forms. And the track truly has to be wet throughout to commit to going to rain tires, because the rain tires just will not last at all in the complete dry. So you got to be really conservative on the other side of it needs to be wet before you make that decision.
Yeah, you had an excellent battle early on with Alex Tagliani. You come back to the last couple of laps coming to the checker, battling your teammate at Brendan Gaughan. You cross the start-finish line with the checker flag in your air. It's yours. What surprised you the most?
Just how excited I was. I mean, I knew it'd be important, and I knew it'd mean a lot, but, just the raw emotion and just the overwhelming feeling that you got from the victory. It's, I for sure it's the most excited I've ever been for a victory. You love all of them, but this one meant so much just because it's taken so long, and I've been close so many times, and to finally do it, and to do it in NASCAR, and to do it in a top 3 series meant a lot.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Cup side. You got a chance to run Michigan yesterday, the second time with that new even lower downforce package. What's your assessment of that so far, and do you think that's the right direction for NASCAR to head coming up in 2017?
My assessment probably not going to be a great one from yesterday. We really struggled with our Thriving Financial car. We just really loose all day long and just never could really fix it. So, I didn't have a fun experience at Michigan, but that has nothing to do with the package or, what that'll look like next year. Just got to work on our program and make good changes when we move over to this package next year.
All right, Michael, I have to ask you, I know you're a race winner now, but you have a really good peanut butter sandwich story in the race car. Talk to us about it.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Yeah, you don't want to get those handed to you through the driver net. It becomes a big mess for sure. Your microphone doesn't work very good afterwards either. So, I learned my lesson, and so you don't ask for a sandwich, that's for sure.
Now, wait, where was that?
I'm not sure exactly where it was. It was a few years back, but it was a mess, that's for sure.
My goodness.
It was on the microphone in his helmet. It was on the visor of his helmet, and he couldn't see through it.
My goodness.
Those are true stories.
Oh, man. I guess the best lessons are learned the hard way, right?
That's right, yeah.
Tell us what's ahead for you. We know you're full-time in the 95, the Thrivent Financial car. You got any more XFINITY races coming up or any truck races the rest of the season?
Not that I'm aware of. Just finishing out the year strong and with Circle Sport Levine Family Racing, and we got goals and objectives there that we're trying to hit, and so just finishing out strong there. On the XFINITY side, I don't think that there's any more opportunities, but obviously winning races helps. So you never know. Getting late in the year there, if they need somebody to hop in that 2 car, I'd definitely be available.
You've been really, really busy as a parent. Give us an update of where you stand.
Yeah, definitely. We have 4 children now. We just finalized our adoption of our son Lucas, who's 3, and so that made four kids for us. So it's busy. It's crazy in our household, but very thankful. And it's been a long time we've been in this adoption process, and so to finally bring them home was really special for us. And it's just a great time of life for us. It's not always smooth sailing and winning races and doing all these things. There's been a lot of valleys and a lot of mountaintops, and so you just have to enjoy all of it and take it all in.
I know what a process that is. My brother-in-law's adopted 4 as well along the way. But, man, 1 more and you can have a basketball team. What do you think?
Yeah, no kidding. It makes getting through the airport difficult, I can tell you that much.
Wow. I can imagine. Well, man, congratulations on that huge win at Road America. I know that had to be a little bit of redemption for you and very satisfying, and look forward to catching up with you at Darlington and continued success on the Cup side with the 95 team.
All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
There you go, Michael McDowell, our third, or I guess at that point he was the first-time winner of the weekend since that race happened a little earlier than the truck race. But, man, cool to see.
What an interesting weekend. The fact that, again, you take the experience level of any series you look at, the Brad Keselowskis and the Kevin Harvicks who finished in the top 5, getting beat by a first-time winner, having a Chase Elliott rookie driver right in front of them. You go over to the truck series, Brett Moffitt, who's got Timothy Peters right behind him, William Byron, a 5-time winner with a rookie name right behind him battling in this other series. It's just an amazing weekend all around at Michigan and Road America.
All right, one more break here on Motorsports Monday. When we come back, we're going to talk basketball.
This is MRN Motorsports Monday.
In the Outback, we think the best part about racing is the noise, the engine, the pits, and a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. Especially a Kevin Harvick top 10 finish. That's because if Kevin Happy Harvick, driver of the number 4 Chevrolet, places in the top 10 in today's race, there's free bloomin' onions this Monday. So you'll have a happy bloomin' Monday. Only at Outback Steakhouse. Valid with any purchase. 1 per table. Participation may vary. Registered trademarks used with permission.
From work life to nightlife, from home to the road, your day can take you anywhere. These fast-paced times call for Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Advanced Comfort is designed to keep up with you, no matter where you go or what you're doing. They're made with 20% stronger denim and 4-way flex technology that moves with you. Wrangler Advanced Comfort. Go anywhere, look great, and be comfortable. Wrangler Advanced Comfort jeans. Try on a pair today.
Whatever you drive, wherever you go, Hercules Tires will get you there, whether you're running on dirt or running a job. Our dependable, high-quality tires are the perfect fit for your needs. For unmatched value, selection, and warranty with industry-leading road hazard protection, there's only one choice: Hercules Tires. To learn more, visit HerculesTire.com or call 800-677-9535. Hercules Tires, ride on our strength.
Hi, this is Martin Truex Jr. You're listening to MRN Motorsports Monday with Joey Meyer, number 2, and Woody Kane. He would always call me number 1, so I call him number 2. You want to do a real one now?
No, I'm good with that one. I like it pretty good. Yeah. Hey, listen, folks, we want to tell you about a special opportunity charity-wise that you can participate in on Wednesday night in Winston-Salem if you're in the North Carolina area. It's the 3-on-3, the annual celebrity basketball tournament with Austin and Ty Dillon. They're going to be raising money for charity. Had a chance to talk with both Ty and Austin about the event coming up.
This kind of came about as a new way to try to raise money for Children's Institute for Pediatric Trauma. You know, it really hit off great last year. We had a lot of great people come out, and we have a huge list of celebrities and NASCAR folks that have come together and bought teams for this year. And
who's a ringer that we might not know about?
I tell you what, the ringer's going to be on Austin's team. He's going to stack his team as high as possible. Ben Bruss from Wisconsin's going to be there. He was kind of the stud last year, but we had tons of ex-NBA, ex-college players there, and it's not just your average Joes. You better have a good team to make out good.
I've got a good lineup so far, and we've got enough for 16 teams. Got Tyler Farr, Chris Lane, Colt Ford. Got a magician, Carl Michael, football player, Will Witherspoon, different college basketball players coming. Joey Logano is now a coach, so I'm excited about that. Denny Hamlin will be there. That's pretty solid, and it's at the LJVM Coliseum on August 31st in Winston-Salem. Invite all you guys out there and have a good time. There's an open bar out back, so we'll have some fun.
SaveInjuredKids.org is the site to find out more information about that really cool event. And our producer, Daryl Smith, is going to have the Charlotte Rolling Hornets wheelchair basketball team there as well to participate in the event.
Yeah, you may not always agree with what the drivers stand for or how they drive behind the wheel, but outside the race car, they put on tremendous events that anybody can get involved with, and this is a good opportunity. What a fantastic weekend we have coming up. It's STP week, but now we go to Darlington, Throwback Xfinity, Throwback Cup. The trucks get the road course race up in the north, eh?
I'm going to be there,
There you go.
Yeah, I was looking for my passport last night. I finally found it. So don't forget, that's Wednesday night up in Winston-Salem. Check out the website, SaveInjuredKids.org, to find out more. Also, Richmond coming up, the last race before we go to the Chase, Friday and Saturday night, September 9th and 10th. Xfinity, Virginia 529, College Savings 250, the Sprint Cup Series, Federated Auto Parts 400. Go to RIR.com to find tickets. This weekend, we will be in both Darlington for the Xfinity and Sprint Cup Series and up in Canada for the Camping World Truck Series. We'll bring all those to you at MRN.com. Check it out there to find out a lot more information. He's Joey. I'm Woody. We'll see you right back here next week on Motorsports Monday and recap it all.
You've been listening to MRN Motorsports Monday, presented by Outback Steakhouse. Tune in again next Monday at noon Eastern for all the latest news, results, and interviews from NASCAR on MotorRacingNetwork.com. Brought to you by Hercules Tires. MRN Motorsports Monday is also available on demand at the MotorRacingNetwork.com Media Center. Or you can download it from iTunes or Stitcher. MRN Motorsports Monday is a production of the Motor Racing Network. All rights reserved.